Boosted.
I'm not giving that away with my. He's such a boss. Like what did he say? My favorite lines in the movie. Something happened and he's like, just a wasted great scotch.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's my boy.
Damn, I know he's
and that scene in what you're talking about is one of I think 2 qualms that I have with this movie.
Yeah, let's talk about that because I know you had a
Talk
couple.
about qualms because I had a couple. That's cool.
I've got 2.
What were your qualms, Jermaine?
I want to hear Anthony's qualms.
You want to hear his qualms first?
I have a weird feeling that we might have the exact same things that are
Tell me,
the
sir.
problems.
Tell me.
I'm going to start with the small one first. The
Okay.
small one first would be what you were just talking about, the waste of scotch.
You didn't like the scotch being wasted? That was your
No,
qualm?
I absolutely hated that. But I thought that they did a really good job. And I'm sorry, spoiler alert, folks. I gotta do a little mini spoiler on this.
You're hearing it. Spoiler
alert. So if you don't like what I'm about to say, mute it for like count to 15, and then we'll click back over. Ready? Y'all ready?
You're a little long-winded, Anthony. Let's go 20.
True that. 20 seconds.
20 seconds.
20 seconds on the clock, and go. So, when they introduce the new Bond girl in this, they introduce her. They do a really good job of like the whole seducing, the whole courting thing. James pops her.
Yes.
Introduces him to Mr. Silver. They do this whole lead up, and then boom, she's dead for no apparent reason. That was just a wasted scene. They could have done so much more with her character, or they could have made it so much more dramatic. The whole part where she's like, "You don't know fear like this." I want to know what the hell he did. Like I wanted to know.
I agree with you. I think the whole reason they did that, though, and the 20 seconds is over, by the way, but just to answer the question for people who stayed around and listened, what I got from it was because of what happened in Casino Royale and what happened in Quantum of Solace, how he was taking revenge out, I think he got over the whole who dies and who doesn't thing. I think he's over the chick thing.
Yeah,
I really do.
That is pretty cool.
What I didn't like is that in a Bond film, you can't kill a sexy chick unless there's already one like in back. You gotta have a replacement sexy chick. And I've seen other movies where like,
there was always one in the back.
There's always one in the back pocket.
She doesn't count.
Oh, yeah. She does count.
Then there's no better way to say token than that.
No, I don't know. No, I mean like, you gotta have that other one. God, this is another spoiler. I'm trying to think of what to say without spoiling. You can't have one that's gonna be a recurring character. A Bond chick. A Bond chick is just like the chick for that movie, and then if she dies, you gotta have a replacement one for her.
She went about halfway into the movie. And then she was gone. But the reason I think for that is she wasn't the quote unquote Bond chick. It was the introduction of this Bond chick that's a recurring character. That was the point of this.
I agree with that.
That's what made her cool.
Bond always seems to hook up with the villain and throughout all the Bond films and stuff like that. But I mean, there's usually a good girl on the other side, and like you said, I think the new recurring character was the other side of it, and that's just where they decided to go with it.
Yeah. And like I said, it was a qualm, but at the same time, I could see why they would do it. But I just felt like it was a waste of a.
What's your big qualm? Because I think your big qualm is a really important one, actually. Like this is kind of a minor thing with that whole situation. But this next one that I think you're gonna say is one that I agree with. It's kind of like.
Let's see if I agree.
Let's see if you agree, Your Majesty. What you're like.
Yes.
What was the innkeeper or the guy that keeps up with the house? His name was Ronson, right?
I forget.
Is that who that was?
No, it was like Kincaid, I think was his character's name.
Yeah, that's
and it was played by
Albert Finney.
Albert Finney, who I love.
Okay, so I got you ready.
Yep.
All right. My major issue with this movie is this: everything in this movie was great. Like I loved this movie. Like, good lord, so many cool things. Javier just rocked the shit out of this movie. Wow. Like I haven't seen a villain like this, honestly, since like Heath Ledger in The Joker.
Well, you say that because I have something to say about that.
He's a man who's not afraid to really just do whatever. He's like
he's got nothing to lose.
He's like, I know I'm a sexy man. I can make myself repulsive and creepy, and
I'm still gonna want it.
Yeah, exactly.
Not only can I make myself repulsive and creepy, but I could go a couple weird levels after that too.
They'll like take you to a few levels that'll make you think, what other levels do I have? like where else can I go?
But rock the shit in this movie. It was this huge build up. And then I want to say about 80% into the movie, it just kind of levels out. And
I would say like 90% because it kind of like gives you like 90% into it. Then it, like that last 10%.
Yeah, they do this whole transition where it's this whole big like a sleight of hand thing that they're trying to out trick Javier's character and everything like that, and everything's going smoothly. And then it just kind of goes, wow, this is your end. This is your big climax. Mm-hmm. It just fizzles out at the end. I feel like it was very anticlimactic ending.
Yeah.
And even like the big thing at the end, it didn't have the same impact to it.
Well, see, it's like, you know, they build up Javier to be such a smart guy. He's fucking brilliant. He's like a super spy. Or whatever, he's like a villain that's on par with 007 as far as like intelligence, cunning, you know, deadliness, whatever. And yeah, the way that they feel, you're like, how did that trick him? He's been kicking your ass the whole movie, basically. Like he's been just telling you what's up.
Mm-hmm. 5 steps ahead.
Dude,
yes.
The subway scene, where he was like, was that aimed at me? Oh no.
No.
This is. I'm like, he loves and he giggles and he runs around and I'm like, oh my god, that was awesome.
He was an incredible villain.
That was like Sherlock and Moriarty right there.
It was.
That was nice.
That was good stuff.
That was really, really good.
Okay.
But, like I said, at the end, it's just kind of like, eh.
We'll see.
And what you were talking about,
yeah,
he's supposed to be the counter to James Bond. He's supposed to be better than him.
He is, yeah.
But they never even fight. Spoiler, they don't fight at all. And not one time do they hit each other or anything remotely close. Hell, they don't even shoot each other.
What I wanted to see at the end, the way they built it up, and certain events happen in Shanghai that kind of back this up, you know, as far as like levels of intensity go. Mm-hmm. I'm like, at this point, I want to see, you know, James Bond tied up to a nuclear missile that's being shot into space, so that he and Javier are fighting on top of a rocket that's being launched into outer space.
I want to see a giant henchman swinging at him with a big ass wrench or something like that.
Like, I want this needs to be crazy. Yeah. I mean, Jermaine, what was your qualm with this movie?
Well, what you just talked about was my qualm with the film. I didn't love the editing of this film, actually.
Yeah.
I thought it went a little long.
There was a dry spell.
There's a dry spell.
It definitely was.
I'm trying to do this without making this a spoiler.
Yeah, it's kind of hard.
It's really hard with this movie, but
it is.
I know why they did this. However, I thought your qualms with the movie were all based off of this, in my opinion. The movie really wasn't about Bond.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You see where I'm going with that?
Yeah, totally.
And so, because it was not, a lot of things we just missed out on. Yeah. His major beef actually wasn't with Bond.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
You know what I mean? So it was so directed. He wanted Bond. Hey, I'm
It's
you.
in the synopsis, homie. This isn't a spoiler.
Okay,
this
I'm
is
just
about
saying.
him.
It's about him.
Yeah.
And his beef is with him, and he's even trying to convince Bond. This is what I'm you. She used me just like she used you. She's not your mom, like everybody kept calling her throughout the whole movie. By the way. I think the whole problem with the movie was, if you think it's a problem, is the movie wasn't really about Bond.
Yeah, he was a supporting character to M's story.
Yes, her story.
And that was the whole thing, and which was cool because it was a good way to do it. But I think Javier's story, in the initial introduction of Javier's character, the story that he tells, dude, that was good. That had me. I kept thinking about that the whole movie.
He had me entrance. It's just like, what did Bond say? I always gotta make an entrance. Just walking down the thing, saying those lines. I was engaged.
From the trailer, I didn't think that I was gonna like him that much in it.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, like you said, from when he's walking down the thing, I'm done.
Just like, wow.
I want to.
All right.
I have to disagree with you, Jermaine.
Okay.
And usually we're pretty close in line. I disagree with you. I do not think this movie is not about Bond.
Okay.
I don't think he's a supporting character. I don't think just because the bad guy's going after, you know, M or whatever, and it's like, you know, a lot of this stuff, it has to do with her history. See, I don't think that he's a supporting character. I mean, I still see him as the main character, even though.
Okay, I wouldn't go as far as saying supporting character. I'm just gonna say the main storyline didn't have to do with him per se.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, in most movies that we're gonna see like this, The Dark Knight, whatever, it's always main villain versus our main hero. In this time, the villain was out to go against his boss, not him per se.
I will admit that if you replaced like 007 with like 008 or 006, not too much would change. I mean, there's many things that would change, but as far as his ultimate role in the movie, I can see where you're coming with that.
I mean,
I still kind of disagree.
Love the movie. I'm not saying he's just a side bit character. I'm just
saying
the things that I think you guys have a problem with are because a lot of it has to lead back around to her.
See, I don't
because that was his main obsession.
I can totally see that.
Even with that being my issue, with her being the main thing, I still feel like it was an anticlimactic ending. All that build up, all that.
No, okay, I get you there.
That's where you go with it.
I get you there.
And even like, spoiler alert, Javier dies because he's the fucking villain, and all the villains die. But even his death scene was kind of like, is he? Oh yeah, okay.
Well, I did kind of like how he turned around and was like, but yeah.
Yeah, that cracked me up. It's like, did you laugh at that?
Yeah, I laughed.
I did too. I was like,
fucker.
Just die, fucker.
See, I don't even think it ran long, though. I don't think it ran long. I think that if you had, all of a sudden, like the last 15 minutes, you had all these moments that weren't full of anything that it should have been. Like it was like leading you somewhere, and
maybe it wasn't long. Maybe it just wasn't enough happening in certain parts.
That's what it was, man. That's what it was, dude.
It was a dry spell. It was that whole build up, that whole Home Alone scene.
Here's my beef with the movie.
Try to cram all that in the last 15 minutes. I was like,
There's a certain scene after the subway where it's getting really tense and things are building up.
Yeah.
And I think we all are thinking, is this about to happen, right?
Yeah. I know what you're talking about the whole courtroom scene.
I was let down. I wanted that to go down.
That should have been it.
And I know it's not my movie, and you can't do that.
That's true. It's
not my movie, but I would have rather that happen and then my man Bond go ape shit afterwards.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to see.
How are you going to have this whole big foreshadowing at the beginning of the movie, fighting on a train? I mean, it's in the trailer, so it's not a spoiler. Yeah. Fighting on a train. James Bond's falling from the sky and the thing. The movie's called Skyfall, and you don't incorporate any of that towards the end.
That's my
Skyfall.
There you go.
Okay.
And that's my last big beef with the movie is the whole Skyfall thing. You know how
you can't reveal that.
You can't reveal that. I won't, but you know how I feel about Rosebud, right?
Yes.
I feel the same way.
You guys, boo.
I'm agreeing on this one. This one was that. Like, I'm like, really?
Come on.
Anything else for Bond, you guys?
All I'll say is, with those minor details that, just throw them out, people. This may be one of some may say the best Bond film ever made. I mean, I enjoyed it beginning to end. I really did enjoy this movie. I thought it was well done. The shots were incredible. I mean, just the beginning in the tower where he rode up, that was awesome.
Oh, it's one thing we didn't talk about. I totally agree. Like the way it was shot, was beautiful. All the silhouette shots, the colors, the lighting was.
I was blown away.
Yeah, absolutely.
Love the way this film was shot. Like, I was engaged throughout the entire movie. I'll tell you this: I went to this movie dead tired, totally engaged.
Nice.
Loved it. Loved every part about this movie.
I was
go see it, people.
Not bored at all. I love this movie.
Fantastic film. Great Bond flick. Great
Yes,
Bond flick. Makes me so excited for the next one, man. I want it to come out now, man. I want to see it.
I don't normally do this, but I will be buying this movie. I will purchase this.
Definitely.
I want to watch it over and over. It's that good.
I got Casino Royale, skipped Quantum, and I'll get this one.
That's what I'm going to do, too.
I did sing that. I did sing that.
Does anyone own Quantum?
I actually do. Someone bought it for me for Christmas.
Oh, nice.
Yes, I actually have. So, fellas, I think we all agree that this is Screen Chasers approved. That's approved, people. Thank you so much for joining us for 3 Pump Chumps. Check us out again next week as we check out Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 2.
I, Anthony Thomas, vow to be 100% professional in my rating of Twilight.
I can't wait for Breaking Dawn 3. Is there going to be one?
Let's all hope not. We out, folks.
This is going to be some glittery dog shit.
Boosted.